going to do a clutch adjustment and lube on a bike, something that gets overlooked quite often. Usually people only do the cable adjustment, they never do the clutch basket, which in order to do correctly you'll have to take your cable loose from the catch. On Harley Davidson clutch cables they use a 1/2 inch and a 9/16. You need to break that jam nut loose. And loosen your cable all the way up, which will give you no clutch up here. That is step 1. Step 2, we got to remove the derby cover. Be careful not to let it fall. There you have your center screw adjuster and a jam nut also. We have to loosen up the jam nut. Then we can correctly adjust the clutch basket. It's an Allen screw, and you'll want to screw that in until you feel it gently bottom, which is here, and then back it out 1/2 to 2/3 of a turn. Run your jam nut back in, and I like to wiggle a little bit to get it close. And then you'll need to re-torque the jam nut. Then you can reinstall your derby cover. Just make sure that you use blue Loctite on the screws so the derby cover doesn't fall off. But we can also go up as a good time to lube the clutch cable. Because the cable's still loose now, you can get it out of the clutch bracket. And you can use WD-40. I prefer to use a little different stuff, but WD-40 will work fine, or any silicone spray. And you'll want to lube that cable. If you bend the cable housing down, you can get down in there. They also sell a tool that is made to do this, but I have found this works just fine. Once the lube gets down in the cable, wipe the excess off. Make sure your cable is seated in the clutch bracket. Then you can come back down here and adjust out your clutch cable. As you can see, the lever is moving out now. That should be pretty close. You're going to need a little bit of free play in here. Pull the clutch cable in and pull out on the cable over here. You're going to want about the thickness of a dime. You probably have to come over here, and you can see you got to have a little bit of free play in here. Usually if you pull on the cable itself, you should have the thickness of a dime to a nickel in between the cable here and the clutch bracket. As you can see, we have a little bit of play there, and that's good. And then you can lock your jam nut back down on your cable. I always like to put a little bit of lube back on the adjuster because this will rust, and your WD-40 or silicone lube will keep that from corroding. And then you have to work your boot back down on there and reinstall it back in the cable clamp. After we've done the clutch cable adjustment, we can come back here and put a little dot of blue Loctite on each derby cover screw. Make sure your gasket is in place. This one says towards clutch. Different years have different styles of gaskets. I always like to start the one on the top first, just to get it to hang in place. And leave that one loose. You don't want to tighten any of them up yet, so you can find the happy spot for the rest of them. And you will just get them all started. And once you have them all started, you'll have to go back and torque them down. There's a sequence you should go by. I kind of just do a crisscross pattern, kind of like tightening the wheel on a car. I will start over here and snug that one down, then come here to the bottom, snug that one down, and we'll come up here to the top, and down here, and last but not least, over here. There you have it. Clean her up, and you're ready to rock.